Welcome to the Land House YouTube channel. I'm Seth. About 2 years ago, I installed a micro hydro system here on my creek. It runs anywhere from about 50 watts to about 300 watts, depending on my water flow. A subscriber told me that my 2 1.25" poly pipes is not quite enough to capture the water that I have coming out of my Coanda screen intake. And so today I want to add back my 3rd pipe. So basically, when it rains really good and that Coanda screen is pulling in a lot of water, I want to get as much of that as I can down to my air diffuser barrel. So let's go ahead and step over here and see what we can get done. Water flows off of this big rock into a wooden box that I built. And behind that box, there's an inner tube that's inflated, and that makes sure that all the water is forced into the box. From there, it falls over into this Coanda screen. And this is a screen specifically designed to pull water into itself and slough off debris. So you can see here it's got some leaves and slugs and snails and all kinds of debris, and I'm just going to clean that off real quick. But the majority of stuff that hits this screen just rolls right off, and it's no big deal. So you can see with the flow rate I currently have, it is capturing all of that water. This thing is supposed to be able to pull in water that matches these fins height right here. So I think it's like 200 gallons a minute, something quite ridiculous. But anyway, so for today, you can see that over here on my little manifold, I have 2 1.25" pipes coming out. And I used to have a 3rd on my old intake. And I want to add that back to get the water down to my air diffuser. And I'm noticing that I have no more room here on this 3-inch pipe. So what I want to do in this video is take this out and make a bigger one that has 3 holes so I can add this pipe to it. So you can see it goes down here, and I would just want to find a way to curve this pipe back over here and attach it to the rest of this manifold. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull this out and see if we can't get a newer pipe with 3 holes in it. The Coanda screen came from Langstons Alternative Power. It's rather costly, but it works extremely well. So if you have a hydro system that needs a good intake, then definitely check out the link down below to his website. So I should just be able to remove this Fernco fitting here and get to this pipe. So as far as distance goes, I can only make one that's about maybe 3 or 3.5 inches longer, but that should give us enough room. Even with this size right here, if I were to move that down, I could almost get a 3rd one in there. So if I add another 3 inches, it should be good. Let's pull these rocks out of here. All right, I think I'm going to remove these 2 pipes here and just take this whole thing down the mountain with me. These poly pipes are old, so hopefully they will sneak off of this right here. Okay, luckily I did not glue these pieces on here. All right, nice. So I can extend that a little bit and then make some new holes and a new piece of pipe. I went back down to the shop and cut another piece. It's just a little bit longer than the previous one. Should fit in the available space just fine. So I want to take out this piece and hopefully get these pipes out of these Uniseal. If I can't get that out, I brought some more so we can just remake this whole thing. But first of all, I think the cap was not glued on. I hope. All right, that piece wasn't. Let's see what we got here. Haha, nice. A lot of times I don't glue these things just in case I have to clean it out or something. Very good. Okay. So I can reuse both of those pieces. And now I got to see about getting these out of here. I don't know if I'll be able to. I brought this, so let me see if I can twist it out. The Uniseal product is a little gasket, and they flare out on the back side to keep a pipe airtight, and they work really well, but they can definitely be a challenge to get back out if you have to. But I think this is gonna work. Yeah, there we go. I'm just twisting this and pulling at the same time. I mostly just wanted to reuse these Uniseal. So once the pipe is out of there, you can just pop these back out. So I'll leave a link to those in the description down below so you can get your own. So the thought is with this new pipe, I need to have these pieces on here just like before. Let me first make sure this is going to fit in my space. Hopefully this fits in here. Oh yeah, quite nicely. So I just need to get my 3 holes drilled in here for these to fit into. All right, I want to return these to here and then add the new one right there. Should be just fine. So I've got the hole saw required here. Okay, there's one. Number 2. All right, I've got some safety goggles on just in case something comes loose here. Okay, there's one. I figured this might get stuck, so what I can do is take off the end piece here. And then tap on here to get that loose. Cool. Very nice. I think that's going to work out really well. Getting the Uniseal in here is usually not a big deal, but pressing those pipes in can certainly be a challenge. So what I'm going to do is get a little water on them, and then once I get the pipe against this, like here, I can then find a rock over here and push my weight down on it and hopefully get that pipe in there. The 2 previous pieces of 1¼ inch pipe I had tapered down, and that makes it a lot easier to push in here. This one I haven't done that to, so hopefully I can manage even though it's not been done. So let me get this here on the rock, line this up, and hopefully can push it on there. Maybe. I think I got it. Yeah, nice. Okay, there's one, and then these hopefully will be a little bit easier to put on here. There we go. Yeah, way easier. All right, last one. I noticed I had some Teflon tape on the other one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some on here as well. And while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and put these hose clamps back on. Okay, I believe it's now time to put this back into position. And I may have to bend these around in different ways to get them to go on. Have to see here. There's one. All right, so Have to put some rocks back here to keep that from falling back out. So now we have the water returning back down the creek, going into the Coanda screen, and it seemed like the current flow rate would all go down a single of these 1¼ pipes, but adding the other two will definitely pull a lot more water. So I think that we should be good now, even if I have 30 or 40 gallons per minute flowing down the creek. That was a fairly simple solution to getting more water out of the Coanda screen down to the tank. So let me go ahead and show you kind of what the system looks like in case you haven't seen it before. So like I said before, this right here is the intake. So water goes into the Coanda, goes over to my manifold, and then goes into these 3¼ pipes. And that's gonna go down here to the barrel, which acts as a silt catchment and also acts as a way to get the air out of the line. The water travels down these 3¼ pipes into my barrel, and this will help remove some of the silt and also gets the air to bubble out and not go down into the Penstock, which is a 2-inch pipe traveling 1,100 feet down to the turbine. Now this right here is the overflow, and because there's so much air bubbling out of this pipe right now, it has an overflow. But as soon as the pipe is full and the turbine is running, that's going to be sucked back down to the turbine. There's something very nice about microhydro, and that's how it self-regulates. I've turned the water on up here, and you can actually hear at this joint where it's flowing through. When I say it self-regulates, the pressure at the bottom is typically about 65 psi, but the less water I have up top here, the less pressure I have at the bottom, so less water is being pushed out because there's less pressure. So on days like today where there's not much flow up here, the Penstock will become less full, and so less pressure in the pipe, pushing less into the turbine. And so basically it self-regulates. So when the rain picks up and I have more water going in, more water will fill up this pipe and I'll have more power being generated. But when water is not available at the source and it goes down the Penstock, it will be making less power, but still making power. I don't have to go down there and adjust nozzles based on the flow rate. I could, but I don't have to. Sometimes I get the question, am I using too much water out of the creek? There are tons and tons of springs here. There's one right here, one over there, and one a little bit further over, and one way over there, which I'll show you. It comes back down here. The main creek is over there. So as far as water goes, there is plenty of water on this mountain that keeps the creek going, even though I'm pulling some of it out here for the hydro. So let me show you what's down here. None of this water right here is going to the hydro unit. And so the other side over here, it's about to meet up with the other creek, and it's got, I don't know, maybe 25 gallons or so coming down per minute. It was about 30 minutes that no water was going down to the hydro unit. So the pressure is probably basically zero. Yeah, pretty much zero. So it's not even enough to get this thing spinning, as you can see here. There we go. A little bit of spinning, but so let's go ahead and close this off so that the pressure can build back up. I just shut off the water so that the pressure can build up in this pipe, and things will be ready to go here pretty soon. Now it was making somewhere around 40 or 50 watts. We basically have no water flowing at the moment, so not doing a whole lot, but that's just going to sit there for a bit. I'll open it back up probably later, about 30 minutes or so. To wrap up this quick video, let me go up here to the electronics and show you where all of this power is going. This is my outdoor power shed. I haven't opened this in a month or two, so hopefully we don't have any wasp nest in here. Looking pretty good. I use this piece of unistrut to hold open the door. Just like that. All right, let me show you a quick tour in here. Let's start from the input. So the hydro comes in from right here, and it goes up here to a breaker, which you may be able to see there. I've got hydro on that side. And that comes over here to the Midnight Classic. and then that feeds down to the batteries, and so it charges from here, and then from there you've got your positive comes up here, and that is able to go to these grid tie inverters. So for instance, house has got 83 watts on that one, 145 on that one, and that's just feeding the house. And then I also have this off-grid inverter, so if the power's down, I can run things with this as well. Now I've got solar as well here. It's got 315 watts coming in, and the hydro is currently off. You may have noticed that I'm using AGM batteries. They don't really have a lot of watt hours. So I've got a 48 volt system here, the 2 different batteries, but I'm looking to upgrade to lithium iron phosphate. I've got some batteries that are 5,000 watt hours, and so I have enough battery storage in these to hopefully run 1,000 watts for 10 hours. And so I'll be able to run them all night long, even with the air kicking on, and hopefully the next morning be ready for some solar. So it will hopefully cut down my power bill significantly, and also I'll be able to use a much wider range than these AGM batteries. In the next big rain, I'll have to see how much adding that 3/4 inch pipe will help with my power production. Previously, I was able to get somewhere around 250 watts consistently in the last big rain. Oh yeah, update real quick. The heat in here is not an issue whatsoever. So I added a vent over here, and then I added a fan on this side. Has a little switch, and then if you step over here into the sun, you can see that I have added a solar panel up here, and that's what runs this fan, and it does extremely well. If you've enjoyed this video of adding an extra pipe to the manifold up top, hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.